My husband turned our anniversary cruise into a secret ship affair. Full Reddit story. On the third night of our dream anniversary cruise, a stranger knocked on our cabin door wearing my husband's hoodie and asked, "Is Jake here?" He said this was his room. That was the moment I realized my husband's once-in-a-lifetime vacation had turned into a secret ship affair. Because according to him, he'd never seen this woman before in his life. And according to her, they'd been together since the second night of the cruise. One of them was lying. If you like having stories like this on in the background while you game, work, or fall asleep, subscribe to the channel. I post new full Reddit-style stories every day. My name is Laura, I'm 32. My husband, now ex-husband, is Jake, 34. We've been together almost 10 years. We have no kids, just a cat named Nugget and a lot of shared history. Jake always talked about going on a cruise. One day when we've saved enough, he'd say, "I want to be on one of those huge ships. All-inclusive food, shows, the ocean. Just you and me and no stress." So when I got a bonus at work last year, I did a thing. I surprised him with a 10-night Caribbean cruise for our anniversary. I spent weeks secretly planning, picked a balcony cabin, scheduled time off at both our jobs, talked to his boss to make sure he could go, even upgraded the drink package so he could have his fancy cruise cocktails. When I gave him the printed booking confirmation in an envelope at dinner, he looked like a little kid on Christmas. "Are you serious?" he said. 10 nights? With a balcony? You did all this for me? We both cried. I thought this is going to be the trip that brings us closer together again. Because if I'm honest, we'd been off. Nothing dramatic. No huge fights, no threats of divorce. Just a slow drift. He worked longer hours. We spent more nights in separate rooms scrolling on our phones. Our conversations became logistics. Bills, groceries, errands. I thought maybe what we needed was time away. Just us, no chores, no stress. The cruise itself felt magical at first. We flew to Florida, boarded this massive floating city, and walked into the atrium like two tourists in a movie. Jake was like a kid. "There's a pizza place open 24/7, he whispered. "And a karaoke bar. And a casino. This is insane." Our cabin had a small balcony with 2 chairs and an ocean view. We unpacked, took silly selfies in the room, and went to the sail-away party on the pool deck. The first day or two were great. We lounged by the pool, drank 2 sweet cocktails, tried the buffet in the fancy dining room, watched an over-the-top musical in the theater. We took a cute photo with the ship photographer, and he made a joke like, "Smile, honeymooners." We laughed and said, "Close enough." He kissed my forehead while we watched the sunset from the top deck. For the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then something shifted. It started small. On the second night, he said, "Hey, I might go check out the casino later. You going to bed early or want to come?" I'd had 3 piña coladas and the ship movement was making me sleepy. "You go," I said. "I'll probably crash after the show. Just don't lose our mortgage." He laughed, kissed my cheek and said, "I'll be quiet when I come in." He didn't come back until 3 a.m. I woke up when he fumbled with the key card. "Hey," I mumbled. "What time is it?" "Late," he said. "Sorry. Got caught up in blackjack. You were out like a rock. I didn't want to wake you." His clothes smelled like booze and perfume, but I assumed that was the casino. The next night, he did the same thing. And the next. By night 4, it was a pattern. We'd have dinner and maybe see a show together. Then he'd say he wanted to check out the casino/the pub/the late-night comedy. I'd be tired from sun and food and motion and head to bed. He'd come in at 2 to 3 a.m. drunk, whispering apologies. I tried to be cool about it. "It's your vacation too," I told myself. "He likes nightlife." You're more of a grandma. Let him have fun. But something started to feel off. He started taking extra care with his appearance at night, changing into his good shirt, putting on cologne, styling his hair more than usual. When I joked, "Wow, you're dressing up for the slot machines," he said, "I just want to look decent in case we end up on someone's Instagram. You know how people film everything." He also started guarding his phone more. On a ship, the Wi-Fi is expensive, so we agreed not to buy separate packages. We had one device connected, my phone, so we could check emails, look at port maps, message family if needed. His phone was basically a camera, but suddenly he started taking it everywhere. To the bathroom, to the shower. Even when he just ran to get more ice, he'd flip it face down on the table. Again, I told myself, "You're on vacation. Don't ruin it with paranoia." Then came the first real red flag. On day 5, we were in the buffet line when a woman around our age walked by, slowed, and said, "Hey, Jake." He froze. "Hey," he said quickly. Hey." She gave me a quick, awkward smile. "Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else," she said and walked away. It was weird because she'd said his name so casually. "Who was that?" I asked. "No idea," he said immediately. "Must have mistaken me for someone else. People get confused when they drink on these ships." I let it go for about 12 hours. That evening, we went to the ship's photographer's gallery to look at our formal night photos. They organized pictures by face recognition in some cruises, so there was a little screen where you scan your card and your photos appear. We scrolled through our pictures. Us at dinner, us on the deck, us in front of a cheesy backdrop. Then my thumb slipped and I accidentally went too far. 2 photos over, I saw Jake. Same shirt, same hair, same night, but not with me. He was standing with that woman from the buffet, both of them holding drinks, standing very close, laughing at the camera. She had her arm around his waist. My stomach did a backflip. "What's that?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "When was this?" Jake snatched the screen back like it was hot. "Oh, that must be some group photo thing," he said. "I don't even remember that. Probably jumped into someone else's picture as a joke." His voice was too fast, too defensive. "Looks cozy for a joke," I said. "Laura, it's a cruise," he snapped quietly. "You pose with strangers all the time. You're overthinking everything. Can we just pick our pictures and go?" I dropped it, physically at least. That night, he went to the casino again. I lay awake in the dark cabin, listening to the soft roar of the ship and the hum of the air conditioning, and replayed that woman's face in my head. At around 1:30 a.m., I heard laughter in the hallway. A group of people walked by, shoes thumping the carpet. Then I heard her voice through the door. "Good night, Jake," she giggled. My heart stopped. Our cabin door didn't open. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. 20. He didn't come in until almost 3 a.m. When he did, I pretended to be asleep. He slid into bed quietly and threw an arm around me like everything was normal. The next morning, I decided I was done pretending. "Breakfast," I said. "So, how's your new friend? The one you take pictures with and hang out with in the hallway at 1:30 a.m. He went pale. "What are you talking about?" he said. "I heard her say your name," I replied. "Jake doesn't sound like someone else. And I saw your photo with her last night. So either you're making a lot of random new friends, or there's more going on." He rubbed his face. "Laura, I swear it's not what you think," he said. "She's part of this big bachelorette group. I met them at the bar, we all talked, took some photos, that's it. I didn't want you to freak out over nothing." "Then why lie?" I asked. "Why say you didn't know her? Why come in at 3 a.m. every night smelling like a perfume counter?" He leaned in. Because every time I say I'm talking to someone, you get weird, he said. I just wanted to enjoy the cruise without a fight. I haven't done anything, okay? Can you please trust me? I wanted to believe him so badly. I looked around at the ocean, the smiling vacationers, the plates of pancakes. I did not want to be that wife who spends her whole trip interrogating her husband. So I said, okay, but if I find out later that you're lying, that's it. I'm not going to be made a fool of. Not here, not at home. He nodded quickly. You won't, he said. He was half right. I didn't find out later. I found out 2 nights after that. On night 7, we had a fancy dinner in one of the specialty restaurants. Jake was unusually sweet, complimented my dress, ordered a nice bottle of wine, asked the waiter to take a picture of us, talked about how we should do this every year. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd overreacted. Maybe he really was just being social and I'd let my insecurities talk. After dinner, I said, I think I'll just go back to the room and read on the balcony. Do you want to come? He hesitated. I might swing by the comedy show, he said. I heard the late night one is better. I won't stay out too late. I kissed him and went back to our cabin. I changed into comfy clothes, made myself a cup of tea with hot water from the buffet station, and sat on the balcony, letting the ocean wind numb my brain. At around 11 p.m. I went inside, closed the balcony door, and started dozing off with a book. That's when someone knocked. 3 quick knocks, not super loud. I assumed Jake forgot his keycard. I checked the peephole just in case. It wasn't Jake. It was her. The woman from the buffet. From the photo. From the hallway. She was barefoot, wearing a big gray hoodie that looked exactly like the one Jake had packed, with messy hair and that slightly drunk cruise smile. She knocked again and said, through the door, Jake? You in there? You said your room was 10214, right? My brain went blank. I opened the door. She blinked at me, confused. Hi, she said. Is Jake here? I stared at her. No, I said. But his wife is. I watched the realization hit her like a wave. Her smile evaporated. Oh my God, she whispered. I didn't, he said. She went quiet. He said what? I asked, my voice shaking. What exactly did he tell you? She swallowed. He said you two were separated, she said. That you booked this as a closure trip you were barely speaking on, and that you were sleeping in separate beds. He said he was basically here alone. My chest burned. We are not separated, I said. We are celebrating our anniversary. We share that bed. How long has this been going on? She looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her. 3 nights, she said quietly. We met at the bar. He said he didn't want to talk about his complicated marriage and just wanted to feel like himself again. We hooked up after the deck party. I thought you knew. I thought you just didn't care anymore. I had to lean against the door frame. Everything I brushed off, the casino trips, the perfume, the photo, the late night hallway, snapped into place like a puzzle. What's your name? I asked. Maya, she said. I'm so sorry. If I had known. I swear, I'm not the kind of person who. I held up a hand. You didn't marry me, I said. He did. This is on him. I thanked her for being honest, gave her a tired half smile and said, please don't come back here. And if you see him tonight, tell him his wife is waiting in the cabin. She nodded, eyes shiny, and walked away down the hallway, hugging the hoodie around herself. I closed the door and my hands started shaking so hard I could barely lock it. I sat on the bed and waited. At around 1:30 a.m., the keycard clicked. Jake stumbled in, smelling like alcohol and cologne and something sour. "Hey," he said too cheerfully. "You're still awake?" I looked at him. "How's Maya?" I asked. He froze. "Who?" "The woman who knocked on our door 2 hours ago in your hoodie and asked for you by name," I said. "The woman you told we're separated. The woman you've been sleeping with while I'm literally down the hall on the same ship." The color drained from his face. "Laura, it's not." "Don't," I snapped. "Don't say it's not what it looks like. It looks like you cheated on me on our anniversary cruise with someone who thought I didn't exist." He stammered. I was drunk, we were just talking. One thing led to another, it didn't mean any." "How many nights?" I asked. "How many times did you go to her room after the casino?" He rubbed his forehead. "3, he said. "Maybe 4. "3? Maybe 4. I repeated. "You maybe had sex with someone 4 times? He sank onto the little couch. "I'm sorry," he said. It felt unreal, you know? No responsibilities, no real life, just the ship and the ocean, and it felt like it didn't count. Like it was happening in a bubble. There it was. "It didn't count," I said slowly. "You think cheating doesn't count if you do it at sea?" "That's not what I mean," he said quickly. We haven't been okay for a while. I felt like a roommate, not a husband. I wanted to feel wanted just for a moment. I was going to end it after the cruise, never talk to her again, and focus on us. I swear." I laughed. It sounded harsh in the small room. "You were going to cheat for 10 nights and then come home and be a better husband?" I said. "That was your plan?" He reached for my hand, pulled it away. "It didn't mean anything," he said. "You mean everything. Please, Laura, don't throw away 10 years over one stupid mistake." "1," I said. "You just said 3 or 4. Do you even hear yourself?" I realized something then. He wasn't sorry he did it. He was sorry he got caught, in the most humiliating way possible. I packed my suitcase that night. Not because I could leave the ship, I couldn't, but because I wanted him to see what was happening. "What are you doing?" he asked. "I'm moving to the spare bed," I said. "We may be trapped in this cabin together physically, but I'm not sleeping next to you again." There was a pull-out bed in the room that we'd been using for luggage. I made it up and slept there, crying quietly while the ship rocked us through the dark. The next morning, I went to guest services. I asked the woman at the desk, "What do you do if you don't feel safe sharing a cabin with your husband?" Her eyes widened. "Has he hurt you?" she asked. "Not physically," I said. "He just brought someone else into the picture. I don't want to be around him right now." She nodded like she'd heard variations of this before. "They couldn't magically give me a spare cabin. The ship was full, but they did offer a lock change, so only my card and his card worked. A note on the file that we wanted separate sleeping arrangements, and surprisingly, a private meeting with the guest relations manager. He sat with me in a small office and listened while I explained that my husband had cheated with another passenger. "We can't intervene in personal relationships," he said gently. "But if there's any harassment or you feel unsafe, we can absolutely step in." I didn't want drama with security. I just wanted to get through the last 3 days with my dignity intact. So I set rules. We would alternate time in the cabin. If he needed to change or shower, he'd text me and I'd stay away. We would attend no more events together. We would sit apart on the plane home. Once we got back, we would talk about separation. He cried. He begged. He tried everything from, "I'll go to therapy," to "it was just the cruise vibe, it's not real life." I stayed calm in a way I didn't know I was capable of. I spent those last days sitting on the deck with a book, watching the ocean, talking to older couples who had no idea my marriage was imploding. Maya avoided us completely. I only saw her once in the distance, surrounded by her bachelorette group, laughing a little too loudly. When the cruise ended and we walked off the ship, Jake reached for my suitcase. "I can carry that," he said. "You don't have to punish me the whole way home." "I'm not punishing you," I said. "You did that yourself." The flight home was a blur. Once we landed, I told him, "You can stay at your brother's for now. I need space." He tried the "I have nowhere to go" card until I reminded him that his brother literally lives 15 minutes away and had offered his couch for football nights several times. He went. I changed the locks. I told my closest friends and my parents what happened. I didn't sugarcoat it. I didn't protect his image. Some people said, "Are you sure you want to divorce over one trip? People make mistakes." I answered, "Cheating in your own city is one thing. Cheating on a ship, on the vacation your wife planned and paid for to save your marriage, is a different level of disrespect." I started therapy. I talked through the years of small dismissals and gaslighting, and how easy it had been for him to compartmentalize our marriage as something he could step out of for fun, and then step back into. Over the next months, he tried the full range. Guilt. "You're really going to throw away 10 years over something that happened in international waters?" Minimizing. "It was just a cruise fling, it's not like I moved in with her." Blame shifting. "We were drifting apart. You have to own your part in that." I did own my part in therapy in private. But there's a difference between, "We need to communicate better," and, "I'm going to have sex with a stranger in a tiny cabin while my wife sleeps 2 decks away." Eventually, I filed for divorce. He cried again, said he'd been hoping we could get past this. I told him, "I could have tried to rebuild trust if you'd come to me genuinely devastated by what you'd done. But you weren't. You were devastated that it might cost you your comfortable life. That's not the same thing. We're now separated, papers in progress." Every time I see a cruise commercial, my stomach flips. Not because I hate cruises now, but because I wish I'd taken myself on that trip instead. So that's my story. I booked a dream cruise to save my marriage. My husband used it as a playground for a secret ship affair. His "it doesn't count if it's at sea" logic blew up when his fling literally knocked on our cabin door wearing his hoodie, and I decided I would rather be alone on land than disrespected at sea. What would you do in my place? If your spouse cheated on a cruise you planned and paid for, while you were sleeping in the same cabin, would you try counseling and give them another chance? Or is cheating on a literal vacation for two a hard line you could never come back from? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read them all. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more full Reddit-style relationship stories.